So hello Miss No, welcome to uh, my vlog 12, which is my final vlog. So first I'll talk about what have I learned. So in this vlog I'll reflect on three different chapters. The first chapter being learning communities. So in the chapter learning communities, I've learned how to define and describe an e-learning community. So an e-learning community, okay, so what is an e-learning community? It's basically a group of learners. They may not know each other, and they're all across the world, and they communicate through CMC, which is computer mediated communication. Okay, so where does this community exist in cyberspace? Okay, internet. How is it formed? When there's communication occurring between those taking the same online learning course. Okay, and who are those in the e-learning community? Especially those who want to acquire knowledge from one another, and also those who know that their effort in joining the course is worthwhile. Um, so what do they do? Like they communicate online, share resources, complete tasks, give opinion, and also build relationships. Okay, and also there's a series of stages involved in building this online community. So first is joining, okay, where the participants will get familiar with this online community. Second is the maintaining. Second is maintaining presence. Okay, so the online community will keep participating. There also has to be an awareness that since the participants are distant from one another, so they may eventually fade off from the course, which is something they should be aware of. Third is disengaging. As for the stage of disengaging, the learners should feel that once they've left the community, it's a loss for them. Okay, so therefore the community has to be meaningful to them until they feel that leaving it is a sad part for them. Okay, also some other things to be aware of the community. There are three things actually. First is the concept of an online community should be viewed of something as ideal. Okay, so all the things as mentioned above should just be taken as an ideal, but not as a rigid way of forming an online community. Second is there should be a balance between both on content and community. Okay, one cannot be we have to, both is important to form the community. And third is the promotion of relationship in an online community is important, okay, between the participants. So that's for chapter 1. Okay, next I'll talk about chapter 2, which is sorry uh, the next chapter 2, which is cross-cultural issues in e-learning. So first I'll discuss about some of the cultural issues. There are actually okay, there are actually six cultural issues. First being time. Okay, so since participants are in different time zone in different countries, so therefore there will be synchronous issues. Second is language proficiency. The main language used worldwide is the main language used in communicating online worldwide is English. So therefore those who are not very fluent in proficient in English will be having difficulties. Third is learning cultures. Okay, so so as for passivity, some prefer to be passive in their learning. Okay, whereas online you should be more of an active learner. And then also for the part of argumentation, once you make a claim online, you should be able to defend your argumentation well. Okay. Next is the fourth issue is learning styles. As for learning styles, some countries prefer field independent, whereas some countries prefer field dependent. Okay, so therefore these different culture will affect the way they learn online. And also we shouldn't like generalize like field dependent country. All the people in field dependent country like to learn the field dependent way. Okay, we should not generalize anything on this. Next is institutional culture. So different cultures have different institutions have different culture. Some are highly bureaucratic, some are more learning focused, some more product, some more process oriented, some has weak, and some has strong teacher involvement. So these different cultures institutional cultures affect e-learning too. And the final issue here, the sixth issue, is marginalization, okay. So like those who those who are inexperienced with technology or unfamiliar with its norms will be having difficulties here in e-learning. Okay, and then some suggestions to overcome these cultural issues. First is we take into account different learning style. Okay. Second is there should be more collaboration involved between institutional providers and also the government infrastructure. And finally, as for the learners part, we should train learners to adapt to the different criteria in our e-learning lesson, okay, or e-learning way of learning. Okay. As for the third chapter, ubiquitous learning, okay, first I'll talk about ubiquitous computing. So what is the meaning of ubiquitous? Ubiquitous means appearing everywhere, okay. So with ubiquitous computing, it means that computer can appear everywhere now, okay. Can bring it like in any location. So what some of the example of ubiquitous devices, okay, laptop, tablet, smart devices, okay, you can bring them anywhere, okay. And of course there are some of course these devices have this concept has its own origin, okay, and it impacts education. So there are mainly three different eras. First is mainframe era, and then we have PC era, okay, and then finally we have ubiquitous computing, which is we can compute by through portable devices, okay. So this is just to this era and so on is just to show that learning through ubiquitous computing has its own origins too, okay. And then like with when this technology is introduced, okay, this technology is adapted to learning, okay, two things might happen. One is faithful appropriation, one is ironic appropriation. So faithful means the students will utilize the technology for their learning, whereas ironic, they use it for their own personal use. Okay, and next, as for ubiquitous learning, okay, with ubiquitous computing, learners can learn anytime, anywhere, and with anyone. Okay, anytime meaning we can reach to them anytime. Okay, they're basically like 24 hours on their devices, and you can connect to them. Anywhere mean it's possible to learn anywhere. Okay, all we need is internet. Okay, I mean with internet and with Wi-Fi and with devices, we can easily access a computer and the network. And then like anyone is like no matter, you can connect to anyone although you're at different places using the internet. So next I'll profile an ubiquitous learner. So they are firstly they are co-creators, okay, and then they are collaborators, they are contributors, and they are motivated by personal need. So as for co-creators, they construct their own knowledge while learning online. As for collaborator, able to work with one another online. Contributor, able to contribute their ideas online. And motivated by personal needs is that they learn at their own pace. Okay. And next is questions. So far this vlog I have no questions too because I really can't think of any. Alright, so third part I'll talk about how has the lesson helped me in my future teaching and learning. So now that from the chapter e-learning communities, I'm now more aware of how an online community would be like, okay. I will know I can picture the concept of an ideal online community in my head. And then also I'll know from this chapter, I'll know the measures taken to promote the community, okay. Like I know that communication is important to build online relationships. Okay, and then as for the next chapter, cross-cultural issues, I'm more aware of the different cultural issues like the 6 I mentioned above, and also I'll at least know some ways to overcome these issues. And then for the next chapter, ubiquitous learners and learning, I'll know that with the concept of ubiquitous computing, learners can learn anywhere, anytime, and can learn anywhere, anytime, and anyone. Okay. And finally, I'll be able to profile the I'll be able to profile an ubiquitous learner, okay, which is also 21st century learner. Okay, they are co-creators, collaborators, contributors, and also motivated by personal needs. So that's all for my vlog 12. Okay, thank you.